I finally got my Thai non-B visa, but it was a simple. That's why I want to tell you the whole story about Thai non-B visa in Penang, Malaysia. Now I'm home in Thailand. What was supposed to be a 1 week trip to Penang turned into 9 days of changing hotels, losing money, checking my email every few minutes, and not knowing what was going to happen next. And just when I thought things couldn't get any harder, I received some heartbreaking news from home. But somehow, the very next day, everything changed. My Thai non-B visa was approved, and now I even have my temporary work permit. But let's go back to the beginning and I'll show you exactly what happened. When I arrived in Penang, I had booked a hotel for only 2 nights. I wasn't sure how long I would have to stay, so I didn't want to book too far ahead. I took a bus from the airport and arrived around 3 p.m. And honestly, the room was really small. There wasn't much in terms of facilities, but it was okay. I settled in and immediately started working on my visa application. I filled out the forms, prepared my documents, uploaded everything, and submitted the application. That was the main reason I had come to Malaysia. I just wanted to get my visa and go back to Thailand. After that, I went out and started exploring Penang. The next morning, I explored some of the historic areas of Georgetown and filmed the city. I've made separate videos about Penang, so if you'd like to see more of the city itself, you'll find them in my Penang playlist. But behind the scenes, I was waiting for one thing, an email. On the 3rd day, I changed hotels. The second room was even smaller than the first one, but the location was much better. At this point, my routine was becoming very simple. Go out, explore, come back, check my email, nothing. And unfortunately, that week included 2 public holidays and then the weekend, so everything was moving even slower. On the 4th day, I decided to explore the nature around Penang. I took a bus towards the national park. I'd been traveling for hours when I suddenly got an email from the Thai embassy. I thought, finally. But no. They needed some of my documents again. So I turned around, spent hours getting back to the hotel, fixed the documents, prepared additional files, and submitted everything again. And just like that, another day was gone. The next day, I decided I needed a break from all of this. So I went to Penang Hill, and honestly, it was exactly what I needed. For a few hours, I could forget about the visa, enjoy the views, and just relax. I also filmed the whole experience, and you can find the video in my Penang list. By this point, I had to move again. This was my 3rd hotel. And surprisingly, the room was actually much better. It was bigger and more comfortable. And I thought, okay, maybe I can finally get some sleep. But there was one problem I didn't know about. There was a nightclub right next to the hostel. The music started around midnight and continued until 3 or 4 in the morning. And when you're already stressed about the visa and desperately needs sleep, it was a nightmare. And to make things worse, the hotel's Wi-Fi didn't work. I was constantly dealing with emails and documents, so I had to use mobile data instead. That meant extra costs and even more frustration. So even though the room was better, I still couldn't sleep. Then came the weekend, still no answer. My original flight was already booked, and I had planned everything around staying in Penang for just 1 week. I didn't have a big budget or a backup plan. Eventually, the day of my flight arrived, and I had to let it go. The ticket was non-refundable, so I lost the money. At this point, I was running out of cash. I booked another hotel, this time for just one night, hoping the answer would come the next day. The next day, another email finally arrived. They needed more information about my financial documents and bank transactions. So once again, I prepared an explanation, gathered the documents, and sent everything back. Then I booked another night. By this point, I was exhausted. I changed hotels several times. My money was running low, and I was checking my phone constantly. So I went to Golden Beach. I swam for a while, relaxed, and tried to clear my head. But it was difficult to relax when I had no idea what was going to happen next. And then, just one day before I finally received my visa, something happened that made everything even harder. I received the news that someone very close to my family had passed away in Iran. And I was here, alone in Malaysia. I had almost no money left. I still didn't know what was going to happen with my visa. And now I was also worried about my family back home. And I was thousands of kilometers away. It was one of those nights when you don't really know what to do. You can't go home. You can't fix anything. You can only wait. Wait for your visa and worry about the people you love. That was probably the hardest night of the whole trip. I barely slept. And the next morning, I was still waiting. What was supposed to be a 1 week stay had now become 9 days. 9 days of uncertainty, 9 days of hostels, documents, and wondering what was going to happen next. And there were moments when I honestly started thinking, what if they don't approve it? What am I going to do? And then, on the very last day, at around 5 p.m., my phone finally received an email. I opened it, and there it was. My non-B visa had finally been approved. After 9 days, I finally had the answer I'd been waiting for, and honestly, it was a huge relief. I just wanted to go home. Eventually, everything was fine. I got on the plane, and about 2 hours later, I was back in Thailand. During my previous entries into Thailand, I had been questioned by immigration every time. So when I arrived in Don Mueang airport, I was thinking, what's going to happen this time? The officer looked at my passport and asked, "Are you a teacher?" I said yes. He stamped my passport, and that was it. Maybe 20 seconds, no question, no problems. Just one stamp, and suddenly I was back in Thailand. This time things were different. I had my non-B visa. My students had been waiting for me and asking when I was coming back. So I could finally return to my normal life, and honestly, after everything that happened in Penang, it felt really good to be back. But remember what I said, the story wasn't over yet. The next step was getting my work permit. And I honestly didn't know how long that would take. So somehow, after 9 stressful days in Penang, everything finally started falling into place. I have my non-B visa, and now I can finally get back to work. I didn't really come to Penang as a tourist. I came because I needed my visa. But despite all the stress, I still had some amazing experiences. I met great people from different parts of the world, explored the city, visited Penang Hill, went to the beach, experienced the local atmosphere and filmed a lot along the way. So it wasn't all bad. It was just very different from what I had planned. Sometimes you make a plan and then life decides to write a completely different story. I came to Penang expecting to stay for about a week. Instead, I stayed for 9 days. I lost my original flight, changed hotels several times, ran out of money, spent 2 nights listening to a nightclub until 4 in the morning, delved with visa documents and banking questions. And on top of all that, I was worried about my family back home. But in the end, I got the visa. I came back to Thailand, and less than a week later, I got my temporary work permit. So maybe things are finally starting to work out. If you enjoyed the story, don't forget to subscribe the channel and share this video with someone who might find it interesting. And if you want to see the other side of Penang, the city, Penang Hill, the festivals, the food, and everything I experienced there, check out my Malaysia and Penang playlist. There are more Penang videos coming, and definitely more Thailand stories. Thanks for watching, and I see you in the next adventure.